Okay, this is going to be my review for Batman Resurrection, right here. I just finished this today. So this is by John Jackson Miller. If you know him, he also wrote Halo books, Mass Effect, Star Wars, Star Trek books. Now he's dabbling in doing superhero books, I guess. So we're following this book takes place following a few months after Tim Burton's Batman that he did, and we follow what happens to those of Joker's victims who had put on that makeup and what happened to them. Because as you know, in the movie, Batman did find a solution. He also found a solution in here. This book is also meant for you to, like, if you're reading it, you're going to be hearing Michael Keaton's voice as Batman Bruce Wayne. You're going to hear Pat Hingley as James Gordon and stuff like that. When I was reading it, I was picturing Gordon from, like, the animated series. I wasn't really picturing Pat Hingley. But he did a pretty good Gordon, I'll say that. My notes are right here, by the way. So I'm going to try to talk about this book and do like a little review on it without spoiling it, because I really want whoever wants to read this to go into it. So this book is definitely made for a Batman fan or a person who's just getting into Batman. It's easy to follow. It's super fast-paced. Once you get into the book, you really, really get into the book. It's 413 pages. In my book, the word spacing is very small, but like I said, once I got into it and I can actually sit down and read, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. So if you're familiar with any of Batman's villains, enemies, you catch on pretty fast who is going to be who. If you see my vlogs previously, I did talk about how Clayface shows up in this one, but there's also like a few other villains who show up inside of the book. It wasn't just Clayface, but you get to see backstory on how Clayface came about in this version of Batman. So it was really, really cool. You get to see his acting career shifting, his mood shifting, what truly happened to him. He thought that he was going to get a cure, and, you know, if you know anything, Clayface is still Clayface. So, yeah. Like I said before, it does read really fast once you get into it. There is a sequel of this, and at the end of this book, you get to find out who the next book is about. But I believe this book came out in 2024, so if you know anything about it, you already know who the next villain is going to be inside the next book, who it follows. This is also happening after the death of Joker. Jack Napier, aka the Joker, Jack Nicholson's character inside of the movie book. I did have a very, very good time reading this book. I felt like it took me longer than it would, only because I have 2 kids, so I had to break up my reading interspersely through the days that I was reading this. Like, I couldn't consistently just sit down and read 200 pages or consistently sit down and read 150 pages. And I didn't have access to the audio, so I couldn't pop in the audio and then go about my day, like playing with the kids or cleaning the house like I had to do. Like, I had to interspersely read this when I actually had the time to read it. So that's why it also felt like it took me forever, I feel like. I will definitely recommend this book to anyone who is a Batman lover, who's a first-time Batman lover, or who just wants to know a little bit about, like, what I want to say Tim Burton and John wanted to happen like a little bit after his movie and everything. So you do get it's like a very good topic to talk about, because if you know anything about Batman or like the movie, there's been speculations since the movie came out that Jack Nicholson's character, the Joker, didn't actually pass away. Like when he hit the ground and you see the cops emerging over him, and all you hear is the laughing because he's got a laughing box in his pocket. There's theory out there that that wasn't actually the Joker, that he swapped his body with someone else, like one of his goons, and he's the one who fell, and Joker either stayed in the cathedral after Batman and Vicky left and all the cops left and everything, then he escaped. There's also speculation that because he was so embedded with all those chemicals and everything, that he did end up just kind of like Clayface, how he can just morph and like jump out a 2-story window and be totally fine. That was another topic about what happened to him. So if you really want to know who's in here, like I did say before, Clayface is in here. You get to find out let's see how many villains are actually inside of this book. You have there's like 3-ish villains inside of this book. The Last Laughs is like Joker's crew inside of this book. That's what they call themselves, and he's got this one big dude, beefy guy. His name is Lawrence. I don't think it was supposed to be like his right hand man, like inside of the movie. Lawrence is like kind of dumb, and he's the typical brooding dumb dude who does whatever he wants, and he takes the jobs because he needs the money, basically. So you're following the Last Laughs. That's what they call themselves. So they just get like they put on the clown garb, and they are really into arson. They like really like just try to exterminate each building they can, which is obscene, but that's what happens. Also, you get a little bit of Batman's humor in here, Alfred's humor in here. Alfred's humor is freaking hilarious. If you know anything about Alfred, he's actually very hilarious, but he contains himself a lot. So you get his humor, you get a little bit of like Bruce leaving. You get that shtick of Bruce leaving as Batman. When Gordon's talking to him, when he's done, he just leaves, and Gordon turns around and he's not there no more, basically. So he is a little bit. In this one, he is working with Gordon. If you do watch the Tim Burton's Batman, you do know at this point in time that Bruce or Batman wasn't really good friends with Gordon, but in this one he is really good friends with Gordon, which I liked too. It was really good because the banter between Batman and Gordon is like peak on par. It's so good. So yeah, I really love this book. It was really good. I enjoyed it so much. But again, it did take me a while to read. That's why I felt like it was taking me forever, because again, 2 kids. I'm a wife, so I have to take care of my kids, take care of my house, and interspersely read throughout all of that stuff. Also trying to catch up on Critical Role, but that's a different story for a different video. So if you want to read Batman Resurrection, I highly recommend you read this book. It was really good. It's paperback, super floppy, and it's that floppy where if you lay it, down, it stays open, which I love. So I really do recommend Batman Resurrection. And when I can, I'm going to get my hands on the second one and read that one also. And hopefully it doesn't take me as long as this one did. I don't know how many pages the next one is. But this one, like I said, is 413 pages. But you get a little bit of what the next book is. I'll show you there. But I do believe this book did come out in 2024. Let me see. The 2014, not 2024. Oh yeah, it was 2024. It was when this book came out from Random House Words. Says Batman series Batman 1. So yeah, pick it up if you are a Batman fan. Pick it up if you are just curious about what happened in the movie or what happened after the movie and in between the Batman movies. Totally just pick it up. I recommend this wholeheartedly. And I don't know where to put it on my shelf, so I'm just going to put it up here next to my Frankenstein because it's technically classified as sci-fi, but Frankenstein is sci-fi too, but he was turned into a movie. Batman is, I guess, sci-fi also. This one was turned into a movie, so that's where he's going to stay, right up here next to Frankie. And let me know if you've read the book, what you thought of the book, and if you made it this far into the review, let me know if you want to actually read the book too, and drop a bat down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.